This is your July 2023 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, this is your reading for the month ahead. Happy solar returns if you are July born. It's Romy here. I really appreciate you taking the time to tune into the channel. So we're going to open up this month with the energy of the Ace of Swords. Now, July is going to bring about a few speed bumps, and they are sure to slow you down and perhaps at times feel a little bit frustrating. But what they will certainly do is bring forth a clarity that's much needed. And that's going to help you to reflect if there is a better time, a better approach, or perhaps a better option for you in regards to some of the ways that you are expending your energy and investing in certain things. Now, in the beginning of the month, we are building up to this full moon in Capricorn on the 3rd. But the day before, Venus in your sign is going to square with Uranus, and this is going to bring about for you this deep, deep need to break free from something. And it's kind of culminating in that sort of slightly pressured feeling under the full moon. And of course, in the 6th house energy, there's a suggestion here that you have to look at the way that you're doing something in your day-to-day life, Leo, that's going to need to really have a radical change. And I see you saying this phrase like enough is enough. And you know, it might come in at this early time of the month around that full moon, or it may take a little longer for you to finally arrive at that expression. But enough is what I hear you saying. And wherever that leads you, yeah, you have to understand that it's kind of on soul time, which means that there's a destiny playing out in terms of sort of leading you to that point where you feel like you finally cracked, but not in a negative way, just in a, you know, it's time for me. Now we're having another ace coming through in your reading. So, you know, this is a month that's infinitely filled with potential for you. And yet, as we said, there's a lot of roadblocks that we're having to navigate. We also find in the beginning of the month during Cancer season that, you know, in your 12th house, it means there's an awful lot going on behind the scenes and behind closed doors. And it's like you're radiating this inner knowing. And it's sort of almost something that people are going to be able to pick up from you without you saying anything. But it's like you have this information, you're holding on to these revelations, secrets even. But that in itself is helping you to formulate a strategy, knowing how you want to initiate or start something new. And, you know, what that also means is that you have to start creating space for this new chapter that you want to embark upon. And that's going to ask a lot of you because, of course, we know the big news this month is Venus is going to go retrograde in your sign on the 22nd, as is the healing planet Chiron the following day on the 23rd. And in some ways, I think this is pushing you to your limits in terms of having to face a lot of unresolved healing. But it's also an opportunity for you to really recognize how far you've come and almost receive the positive karma and blessings of that. And I think you'll find that you've come full circle in regards to that. And, you know, you may be questioning at moments through the month, you know, was it worth it? You are absolutely going to see that the experiences that you have gone through were everything. They are perfectly setting you up for what's about to come in next. Now, the communication of where you are initiating or the new opportunities that are showing up for you through this month of July is really important, because what we have to remember is that during these retrograde energies, it's a time for kind of assimilating information, for doing our research, for sort of experimenting and playing with the ideas and with the possibilities. And in doing that, it's perhaps going to curb some of the impulsiveness to commit and go too heavy into something when you're just playing with that sort of rawness, that seed energy, and it might just require a little bit longer and a little bit more thoughtfulness on your part before you sort of allow it to be kind of fully unleashed, and then you have to go back over something. As we said, we might have a few things dissolve through the course of this month, and you're also going to be experiencing on whatever personal level, you know, an awful lot of emotional themes that are coming up to be faced. And, you know, that chaos energy, that crisis energy that can sometimes come about when we experience these types of transits, you know, together, you know, can take a lot from us. Like I said, it's sort of pushing you to your limits. But the Knight of Cups suggests it's sort of almost initiating this new vision quest for you as well. Now you're crossing the threshold here. You see, crossing over this stream. So I think again, like the bravery that you have through the course of this month, you know, and I feel more when we come into your season and your solar returns and sort of really kind of sparking that trust. But it's also pertaining to the fact that you've created like a new strategy for yourself. Now, Pallas Athena, the asteroid goddess helping us with that strategy, is moving into Virgo on the 9th of the month. And the following day, Mars shifts into Virgo. We have to remember not to wage war on ourselves when this happens, right? Because we can get overly critical. But this strategy of mind, body and soul, which is also really beautiful as you think about what that full moon in Capricorn in the 6th house was telling you, especially about your physicality. How is this person affecting me? How is this job affecting me? How is this thing that I'm doing in my life that no longer serves me truly impacting me? And, you know, as you sort of come to terms with that, we realize that we don't have to sort of wage these wars. You know, the art of war says the greatest victory is that which requires no battle. So, you know, this is you following what your heart is telling you, Knight of Cups, and really preparing to sort of cross a line. And, you know, not crossing a line in a negative sense, but just saying, you know, like the phrase, enough is enough, it's my time and this has to happen. And I think that you are going to be having the hard conversations. 8 of Wands tells me that, you know, that's already been set up, if you like. It's already in motion. And those hard conversations mean that, you know, there's something that you need to release because it's causing you a burden and it's creating this amount of sort of overthinking that you're not meant to carry with you. And so through that 12th house, you know, in the beginning of the month during Cancer season, there's this readiness and this sort of drawing together and this creating the space. Judgment coming in right at the centre of your reading. It's not messing about this month, Leo. There's something quite significant and profound changing for you. Now on the 17th, we're going to witness the North Node shift into Aries. Remember, it's all about growth, fulfillment, our highest expression of our destiny. And the new moon in Cancer at 25 degrees. On an emotional level, this means that there's a reset because you have to orientate yourself towards where you're supposed to be. And it doesn't matter how much you may still want to hold on to something or someone may still want to hold you back. You are going to feel so compelled to act in a certain way or to make a specific decision around that new moon that you yourself will feel there's no going back after this. But that's okay. You know, sometimes we have to go be somewhere else. Sometimes we have to be with someone else, or we have to even try to become someone else so that we can inherently end up coming home to ourselves more. So this is a time of experimentation. There is no hard and fast rules for you anymore. Mercury shifts into your sign on the 10th, Leo. So that's also going to be supportive as we need to communicate what these new ideas are that are surfacing for you. And, you know, this is the time when you stop asking for signs and you invite the courage and the bravery to act on what you already know and feel and trust. Yeah, so I see you reclaiming and revisiting and allowing that rebirth to come through. And this is making you stronger and much more anchored into your own experience through the course of July. Empress energy, you know, everything has a season and a cycle, and everybody's season and cycle is different. And so when we try to compare, or we try to second guess where we think we should be based on what society tells us in regards to timelines, then we can get really out of our own natural sync and rhythm with things. So, you know, this new chapter, which is asking a lot of you, is also saying you have to start coming at this more worried about your own well-being than what others think or have to say about how you're evolving and strengthening. So, you know, we have this deeply generative, creative energy that wants to be nurtured. Like this month, it's sort of saying like, don't put this off. Don't put this off, Leo. You know, and I think that hard decision that you have to make is to get you into this position of empowerment in regards to something. So pay attention to where you may have been feeling slightly disempowered. Now, when the sun shifts into your sign on the 22nd, it's the same day that Venus will station retrograde. You already have a heads up from the 19th of June onwards as to what the themes are that you're going to be working with. And remember, this doesn't have to be all doom and gloom. Like I said, it's like it can bring back things for you in terms of blessings of where you've been working or people from the past. And there's a whole intentionality with Venus retrograde about resolving things. So sometimes it's hard to face, sometimes it's hard to hear, hard to deal with, but ultimately the positive out of this is when you come out of this transit, you feel much clearer, more empowered, more together in these themes around your money stories, around your love relationships, around your sense of value and beauty. You know, the way that you are perceiving this material realm, the possessions that you have, all of these second house energies. Now, when we have this sun shifting into your sign on the 22nd, there is a burst of, okay, this is what I have to do. Now, like I said, remember that the timing might not be just quite yet in July, so you might have to just hold on to that thought and hold on to that energy and kind of nurture it and court it and know that come September, that is absolutely your green light to say now. Just as a side note, you know, when Venus is retrograde in Leo, like it's a great opportunity from the sort of money prosperity side of things if you're buying anything. So you can pick up some fantastic deals around this. But if you're selling, you can really underestimate the value of something or end up getting caught up in entangled situations where you accept way less than you deserve. So just keep that in mind if there's any important purchases or anything significant that you are trying to sell, or, you know, just be aware of these patterns and how they can affect you through the course of July. So Leo, we're going to pull the final 3 cards in our extended version of the reading. If you're new to the channel, then I talk for another 25-30 minutes or so. We go deeper into this month's reading. We look at a personal question, a relationship card for you, and really explore things in more depth. So you can find the link for that in the comment and description box underneath. I'm going ahead and just clarify these cards as well just now and see what direction they might be taking us in. These are beautiful energies that are showing up for you through the course of this month. And I think that Ace of Swords is such a powerful initiatory. Like, you can't unsee what you've seen. You can't unknow what has surfaced into your awareness. And so it's kind of like, what are you going to do with that now? You know, the truth will set you free. Sometimes, though, it can really bloody hurt, can't it? You know, there's that fractious energy, I always think, that shows up with the Ace of Swords. But you would rather know, you would rather be empowered with that information. There's our behind the scenes 7 of Swords helping you here. And, you know, you also have the Hermit. So there's just this real strong suggestion that there is something that you have to do for yourself, by yourself, before you're sort of ready to kind of share that and invite people in to what that means for you. These Kings showing up, Magician, a Devil, okay, 4 of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles, nice. I think, you know, there's going to be some really beautiful support showing up for you as you come to terms with what that new strategy needs to be. And that might be in relation to sort of how you're going to deal with somebody, a key relationship, especially in the matters of the heart. But it also is pertaining to that full moon in Capricorn, I feel, where you're really having to adjust something that you're doing on a regular basis that we understand is just not serving and is actually ending up more harmful. Okay, so this is Life Soul Vision Oracle, which is my deck. If you enjoy my work, then please check out my creative projects. You'll see the deck here. You'll also see my book, Moon Musings. It's over on Amazon in paperback, Kindle, and there's an audio version coming out this month as well. Okay, let's have a look here. We have vortex of boundless grace. There's the forgiveness. There's your Chiron retrograde energy mixed in with Venus retrograde. It's going to be fun. It might be bumpy for some of you in regards to those closest relationships. But ultimately, we become free if we allow ourselves to do the work and have those hard conversations. Wishing tree and judgment together. I really like that combination. Labyrinth of sweet surrender. There is this sort of energy of release that's coming through for you. Release of what you're holding on to. But, you know, it's going deeper than that. Sometimes things have to unravel. They have to fall apart before they're able to come back together in the right divine order. And there's something about us moving through these next few weeks that, you know, will challenge each and every one of us in terms of what we thought, what we expected, and what's actually happening for us. But sometimes it's hard in the moment to really appreciate that bigger picture. And that will start to become much clearer for you as you move into September time. Okay, sacred chalice, beautiful. This month, my soul meditation journeys are focused on heart healing to really support you through anything you might be experiencing this month. And also a journey around navigating when the solar flares kick off, if you are particularly sensitive with the frequencies of that energy. That will be helpful for you. Again, you can find the links for that in the comment and description box underneath. You have Urania, perspective. It is all in the mind. Okay, we will explore that a little bit more during our extended version. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. As I said, have a beautiful solar returns if you have a birthday this month. I'll see you again next time. You take care, Leo. Bye.